Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at more MLB players that had huge success in their rookie seasons, but couldn't really figure out how to put together a good career. Some of these guys you may have heard of, and some of them maybe not. But the fact of the matter is that their first year was their best year. Here's hoping it doesn't happen to a lot of 2021 rookies, because this rookie class is truly special. If you have suggestions for other guys that peaked in their rookie year, make sure you leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed today's video and would like to see another installment in this series, make sure you leave a like, and consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get into it. Here's part 2 of MLB's Forgotten Rookie Stars. Originally a catcher, Jungho Gong became a high-profile player in the KBO in his early years. He was mostly inconsistent for the first 5 years of his career in Korea before establishing himself in 2012. In 2014, Gong had his best season statistically, hitting .356 with 40 home runs and 117 RBIs. He led the KBO in slugging percentage and OPS, and he also finished second in home runs, on base percentage, and was third in doubles and RBIs. He won his third straight Gold Glove Award, his fourth overall, and established himself as a premier offensive and defensive threat. He played in the KBO for 7 years before gaining eligibility to play in MLB, and in January of 2015, he was signed to a 4-year, $11 million contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates, though they weren't his only suitor. He would compete with Jordy Mercer for the shortstop job in his first year, but he'd pull away sooner rather than later. Gong would have his best month in July of that year, claiming the starting job for himself on a competitive Pirates team by hitting .379 with 13 extra base hits and an OPS above 1. Unfortunately for Gong, he'd be taken out on a double play ball by Chris Coughlin in September, resulting in a left leg fracture and an MCL tear. He'd miss the remainder of the season, including the Pirates' 2015 wildcard game, which they would lose to the Cubs. He did finish third in NL Rookie of the Year voting. He would return in May of the following season and would have impressive stats over 103 games, but this would be the last glimpse of success for Gong in the majors. He'd be mired in controversy in the offseason after 2016, pleading guilty to his third DUI charge after a high-speed hit and run. He would have his work visa revoked as a result, and he would miss all of 2017 and play in just 3 games in 2018. He returned in 2019, posted bad numbers, and was released in August of that year. Gong had a 4-year deal, but I don't think anybody could have predicted that the first year would be his most productive. Derek Rodriguez had an incredibly peculiar road to becoming a major league pitcher. The Minnesota Twins selected him in the 6th round of the 2011 MLB draft as an outfielder, but he would bat just .216 with 6 home runs and 352 at-bats at rookie ball in his first 3 seasons. So the Twins decided to convert him into a pitcher in 2014. And he quickly established himself as a threat on the mound, and made it to AAA before being released by Minnesota in 2017. He would sign a minors deal with the Giants organization for the 2018 season, and he posted a 3.4 ERA in AAA before the Giants gave him the call to the major leagues in May of that year. He immediately began pitching solid innings for San Francisco and poised himself to be a big piece of their future rotation as a 26-year-old. From June 24th to August 12th, Rodriguez went on an incredible run over 8 starts, pitching to a 1.28 ERA in that span. In a starting pitching rookie class with guys like Tyler Mahle, Ryan Yarbrough, Jack Flaherty, and Shane Bieber, Derek Rodriguez had the second lowest ERA of any rookie starter, trailing only Walker Buehler. Inexplicably though, he didn't receive a single Rookie of the Year vote in the National League. He had a successful rookie year with the Giants with a 6-4 record and a 2.81 ERA in 31 games. As a starter, he allowed 3 runs or less in 16 of his 19 starts and pitched 5 or more innings in 17 of his 19 starts. Rodriguez, however, would struggle immensely the following year, pitching to a 5.64 ERA in 16 starts. Since then, he's bounced around to the Tigers and Rockies and hasn't appeared in the 2021 season yet. He's active at Colorado's AAA site, pitching to an ugly 7.29 ERA in 13 starts, but a comeback could be in the cards for him. Tommy Joseph was drafted by the San Francisco Giants in the 2nd round as a catcher-first baseman hybrid, and he would appear in the Futures game in 2012. He originally came over to the Phillies as part of the Hunter Pence trade, as Philly began their rebuild on the heels of 5 straight NL East titles. Joseph was a well-regarded prospect, but he would debut with enormous pressure, being the official successor to Ryan Howard, the greatest first baseman in Phillies history. Howard would play out 2016, but platoon with Joseph, and Joseph would put up far better numbers over the Philly mainstay. Joseph officially officially became the everyday first baseman in June of that year, and he punctuated that move by hitting his 6th and 7th home runs on June 10th. He became the fastest Philly ever to hit 7 home runs and steadied this momentum into his starting role. He caught fire in July of 2016 and had the best month of his career, with a .328 batting average, 6 home runs, and an OPS above 1. He would end the year with solid numbers, though his .308 on-base percentage was concerning. Still, he'd be named the starting first baseman for the next season as well in 2017, with Philly hoping to see him take a step forward. His 21 home runs was 3rd among NL rookies, just behind Corey Seager and Trevor Story. He got off to a slow start before entering a bit of a hot streak, hitting 14 home runs and 36 RBIs in 61 games. However, top prospect Rhys Hoskins was looming, and with Hoskins having made his debut and ready for a full season in the majors, the numbers weren't enough to keep Joseph at first base. The Phillies gave Joseph time in the outfield early in 2018 spring training before DFAing him on March. Joseph has actually continued playing throughout the years after his brief major league stint, playing in the KBO, Mexican League, and as recently as 2021, the Dominican Winter League. Now here's a name you maybe have never heard of. Parker Bridwell was a 9th round pick for the Orioles way back in 2010, and he would pitch in the minors for 6 full seasons before ever getting a taste of big league action. He got roughed up for a couple games in 2016 and unsurprisingly did not make Baltimore's postseason roster, and he was then flipped to the Angels for cash in the offseason. But Bridwell would shock many by breaking camp with LA and making their starting rotation as the anchor. His results early on were lukewarm at best, but he really hit his stride in July of 2017, pitching to a 1.69 ERA in over 26 innings. He'd steady those performances into a solid full season, one where his ERA never went above 4 for the rest of the year. His 9 straight road wins to begin his career was tied with the Brooklyn Dodgers' Clem Labine for the 2nd longest such streak of all time, behind that of Whitey Ford. In a rookie pitching class with guys like Nick Pivetta, Dinelson Lamet, Herman Marquez, Kyle Freeland, and Jordan Montgomery, Bridwell had a better ERA than all of them, 4th in MLB to be exact. But Bridwell's sudden rise would fall apart almost immediately come the next year, as he didn't pitch in most of the 2018 season due to right elbow inflammation. In November of that year, he was DFA'd. And since then, he's bounced around to the Yankees, Athletics, Twins, and 2 more separate stints with the Angels, but none of them have proved fruitful enough to get him back in the big leagues. Bridwell technically was a big leaguer for 3 seasons, but 2017 remains the only season where he pitched over 7 innings. Injuries have simply kept him from reaching his potential. Ben Paulson was a 3rd round draft pick out of Clemson University who hit 82 home runs in the minors from 2010 to 2014. After being named a AAA All-Star in 2014, the future looked bright for Paulson as Rockies fans anticipated his call-up. The door was open for Ben Paulson when Justin Morneau, remember when he was a Rocky, went down with an injury. He tore it up in his brief stint in 2014, planting the seed for the Rockies to give him a roster spot in the following season. In just 66 plate appearances, he had 4 home runs and a 138 OPS+. And he'd return in May of the next year and pick up right where he left off, keeping his OPS above 1 with a .350 batting average in 44 plate appearances in May. Paulson's .462 slugging percentage was 13th among NL rookies in 2015, putting him ahead of Jock Peterson and right in the vicinity of guys like Tommy Pham and Kyle Schwarber. However, Paulson did have an issue with strikeouts, not walking enough and playing mediocre defense at first base. But this was his full season, so he definitely had room to improve. But Paulson would just tread water offensively for the remainder of the 2015 season, his only full campaign in the bigs. He struggled his way through September to close the year, though he'd been given another chance off the bench in 2016. However, his bat stayed quiet when he wasn't playing every day, and his defense took a tremendous step backwards. He wouldn't be able to capitalize and would fall back into the minor league pit, never to see big league action again, retiring after 2017. Last up on our list today is Tony Barnett, who had a long road to the bigs, being a 10th round draft pick for the Diamondbacks way back in 2006. Barnett was originally a starter and he made it all the way to AAA before being cut in 2010. He took his talents overseas to the Nippon Professional Baseball League in Japan, where he flourished and transformed himself into a dominant reliever. He turned his steady performance into a 2-year deal with the Rangers headed into 2016. Barnett was steady and dependable as a middle reliever for Texas early on, pitching to a sub-3 ERA in his first 3 months of the season. In July, he became even more dominant, locking down opponents to the tune of no runs allowed in the entire calendar month of July. 13.2 innings pitched, 8 Ks, no runs. Barnett's year would be cut short by nagging injuries in September, but he finished the season strong and had consistent numbers across every month. The end result was a 2.09 ERA over his first 53 big league games, making him one of the best rookies of his class. To put it in perspective, of rookie pitchers with at least 60 innings, Barnett had the 2nd lowest qualified ERA in MLB among rookies. Yankees, trailing only Seung-Hwan Oh of the Cardinals. This placed him ahead of guys like Seth Lugo, Jameson Taillon, Julio Urias, Kenta Maeda, Sean Manaea, and Joe Musgrove. Granted, that's comparing a reliever to a bunch of starters, but the point still stands. Barnett had an incredible rookie year. But as is the story with many of these guys covered in series like this, Barnett's injury bug kept nagging him. The following season, his ERA rose all the way up to 5.49, and he'd go to the injured list numerous times from 2018 to 2019 as a Ranger and Chicago Cub. He finally decided to retire in 2020, and since his career ended, he's taken a front office job with the Tokyo Yakult Swallows, the same team that helped revive his career just a decade earlier in Japan. So, a nice ending to this story. Today's video was brought to you by my longtime friends over at Manscaped. As you guys must know by now, Manscaped leads the charge in male grooming products, and my experience with these products has been overwhelmingly positive. Whether it's the Lawnmower 4.0 or the Crop Preserver or any other assorted grooming products they offer, Manscaped has always been top of the line. They're constantly offering different discounts and deals on all their products, so I highly suggest you check out their website and see what they have to offer. If you haven't already, you can go to their website and get 20% off and free shipping with my promo code OLIVE. This deal has hung around for quite a while now, but it will be going away at the end of the month, so I highly suggest you capitalize on it while it's still around. Again, that's promo code OLIVE for 20% off and free shipping. That'll do it for today's video. I'm the Jolly Olive, and I'll see you guys next time.